Well, hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Wellness Wednesday with me, Ziva. This week, we're going to talk about the Japanese Zen concept of Mono no Aware. Mono no Aware is the Japanese concept of impermanence, looking specifically to nature to remind us that everything that is beautiful is also impermanent. And so in Japanese culture, they look to the seasons of nature to remind us that all the beauty that we see outside will not last forever. And in fact, it's changing day by day and moment to moment. Sometimes in life, when we're in the midst of suffering and we've received some bad news, we are going through hardship of some kind, things are just not going the way that we want them to. We receive news that brings tears to our eyes. Sometimes we can feel like this is going to last forever. And while cognitively we might know that that's not true, it won't really last forever, when we're in the middle of things, we can genuinely feel like this is it. This is the rest of my life, and this is how it's going to be. Which actually reminds me of a 3,000-year-old fable that's also mentioned in the Torah with King Solomon. The story goes that King Solomon was very sad, and so he summoned one of his court advisors to bring him something that would turn his sadness, his despair, into happiness, or at least into ease. And then there's also the story written by the 12th century Sufi Persian poet Attar of Nishapur. And he writes that there was an Eastern monarch who was married to his beloved queen who was very depressed. And the story goes that the king summoned one of his most trusted advisors and asked him to seek the kingdom high and low for an object that would turn her depression into happiness. So in both stories, the one with King Solomon from the Torah and the Sufi one written by Attar of Nishapur, both of them turn out in the same way. Advisors were summoned, people were sent out throughout the kingdom to find this mystical object, the solution to this eternal dilemma of what will convert sadness and despair into ease and happiness. In the end, a jeweler was found, and the jeweler had a very special ring on it, inscribed with the phrase, "This too shall pass." Or in the case of King Solomon, it was in Hebrew, "Gam ze ya'avor." And in Hindi, we say, "Ye din bhi chale jayenge." In many, many cultures, we remind ourselves that there is this sense of impermanence in the world. No matter how thick things might seem right now, especially when we receive shocking news or unexpected news, it can seem like it will last forever. But I'm here to reassure you that nothing will last forever. And in the case of King Solomon, when he received that ring from his trusted advisor, he became overjoyed when he read the inscription, knowing that his sadness and despair will not last forever. The moment that he realized that, he had a bittersweet thought, and that was that his happiness in this moment will also change into something else in the next moment. So whatever our range of emotions, whatever we're feeling, whether we're feeling negative emotions or positive emotions, just really try to keep in your mind and in your heart the sense of knowing that this too shall pass. The negative will turn into positive, and the positive shall transform into something else as well. So join me next week for another episode of Wellness Wednesday.